The Young and the Restless spoilers breaking news Fridays weekly December 27, 2024 secrets, schemes, and second chances. The web of intrigue in Genoa City grew tighter with each passing day. For Daniel, it was a game of strategy. He wanted Nick to falter, to make a mistake that would tarnish his carefully curated reputation. But Nick, ever the tactician, refused to take the bait. Every provocation, every snide remark Daniel threw his way, was met with the same calm silence. It was maddening, and Daniel's frustrations simmered beneath the surface, threatening to boil over. Daniel's failed gambit. Daniel's plan had been simple: goad Nick into a public outburst, something loud and reckless enough to discredit him. He carefully chose his words, lacing them with sharp criticism and biting innuendos. But Nick's self-control was ironclad. Each time Daniel pressed, Nick would flash a disarming smile and walk away, leaving Daniel fuming in his own anger. "He's like a statue," Daniel muttered to himself one evening, pacing his apartment. No emotion, no reaction. But everyone has a breaking point. Yet, no matter how hard he tried, Nick remained composed, his patience a testament to his confidence and experience. Daniel realized he needed a new strategy. But before he could devise one, another piece of the puzzle demanded his attention: Sharon. Sharon's legal battle. Sharon's fight for her freedom had taken a grim turn. Accusations against her were mounting, and the stakes couldn't have been higher. Daniel saw her as a liability, one who could expose truths he desperately wanted to keep hidden. His goal was clear: Sharon had to take the fall. Her incarceration would silence her and keep his secrets safe. But the judge overseeing Sharon's case had other plans. Just when it seemed a verdict was imminent, he announced a postponement. "We need more evidence," the judge declared. "The court cannot deliver a fair judgment without all the facts." For Sharon, it was a lifeline. For Daniel, it was a setback. His irritation was palpable as he realized Sharon now had more time to build her defense, a defense that could implicate him. Ian and Jordan's deadly plot. Meanwhile, Ian and Jordan grew restless. Sharon's prolonged presence was a threat neither of them could afford. Her knowledge of their dealings was a ticking time bomb, and they agreed on one thing: Sharon needed to be eliminated before she could reveal the truth. The duo began plotting in secret, their plans growing darker with each passing day. "She's too close to exposing everything," Ian said, his voice cold and calculating. "We can't wait for the court to decide. By then, it'll be too late." Jordan nodded. "We'll make it look like an accident. Clean, simple, and final." But Sharon, unaware of the danger looming over her, focused on gathering the evidence that could save her. Little did she know, her life was in greater peril than ever before. Chance and Summer's heart-to-heart. Amidst the chaos, Chance and Summer found themselves at a crossroads. Their relationship, once filled with passion and promise, had become strained by misunderstandings and misaligned priorities. They knew they still cared deeply for each other, but they needed clarity, an honest conversation about their future. Sitting across from each other in a quiet cafe, Chance broke the silence. "Summer, we've been through so much together. But I feel like we've been drifting apart." Summer looked down at her hands, her voice soft but steady. "I know. And I hate it. I don't want us to keep going in circles, Chance. If we're going to do this, we need to be all in." They talked for hours, peeling back the layers of their emotions and rediscovering the connection that had brought them together in the first place. By the end of their conversation, one thing was clear: they still had a future, but it needed to be solidified. A proposal for commitment. Chance made a bold decision. He knew that the only way forward was to show Summer how serious he was about their relationship. That evening, under the soft glow of the city lights, he got down on one knee and held out a ring. "Summer, I don't want to just love you. I want to build a life with you. Let's stop looking for reasons to doubt and start focusing on why we belong together. Will you marry me?" Tears filled Summer's eyes as she nodded. "Yes, Chance. Yes." Their engagement marked a new chapter, not just for them, but for the hope that love could endure even in the face of adversity. The path forward with Chance and Summer's engagement bringing a touch of hope to the Newman and Abbott saga, the shadows of Daniel's schemes and Ian's deadly plans loomed larger than ever. As Sharon fought for her freedom and Kyle and Claire faced their own uncertain future, Genoa City stood on the precipice of seismic change. Would Nick's composure hold against Daniel's relentless attacks? Would Sharon uncover the evidence needed to clear her name, or would Ian and Jordan's plans succeed in silencing her forever? And would Chance and Summer's love story inspire others to embrace the possibility of second chances? The answers lay in the choices they each made, choices that would ripple through their lives and the lives of everyone around them. Would you like further elaboration on any specific subplot, or should I add more layers to the characters' motivations and interactions? Billy's determination and Phyllis's struggles. Billy Abbott sat in the dimly lit office that once symbolized his family's legacy, Chancellor Abbott. The walls, now bare, seemed to echo the weight of his loss. Losing the company had been a blow, not just to his pride but to his sense of purpose. Yet, despite the setbacks, Billy's resolve was stronger than ever. What he lacked in resources, he made up for in sheer willpower and ingenuity. And in Phyllis Summers, he had found an unexpected ally. Someone who believed in him when few others did. Phyllis, caught between loyalty and grief. Phyllis, ever the firebrand, had always been a woman who thrived on challenges. She admired Billy's resilience, his refusal to stay down even when the odds were stacked against him. "You're not a failure, Billy," she told him one evening over a shared bottle of wine. "You're a man who hasn't found his breakthrough yet. But it's coming, I can feel it." Her words gave Billy a sense of validation he hadn't felt in months. But Phyllis had her own battles to fight. The sudden and tragic death of Heather had left her reeling. It wasn't just the grief that consumed her, it was the questions, the unresolved threads that dangled around Heather's passing. Phyllis was determined to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it might be. This duality tore at her focus. While she wanted to support Billy in his ambitions, her mind kept drifting back to Heather. The guilt of not being fully present gnawed at her. Could she really be the partner Billy needed when she was barely holding herself together? Billy's quiet confidence. Despite Phyllis's preoccupation, Billy wasn't deterred. He knew her well enough to recognize that she needed time and space to process her grief. In the meantime, he channeled his energy into rebuilding his career. He began exploring new ventures, meeting with potential investors, and brainstorming innovative ideas. One night, as Billy worked late into the evening, Phyllis showed up unexpectedly. She looked tired but determined. "I'm sorry I've been so distant," she said, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "I want to help you, Billy. I need to figure out how to deal with everything first." Billy smiled warmly. "Take your time, Phyllis. I know you'll come through when it matters. You always do." Tucker McCall's return. Meanwhile, across town, the whispers of Tucker McCall's return began to circulate. The enigmatic businessman had always been a polarizing figure in Genoa City. His unpredictable nature and shrewd tactics made him both a threat and a source of intrigue. Tucker's re-entry was anything but subtle. He arrived in his signature style, confident, suave, and ready to stir the pot. The moment his presence became known, it sent ripples through the community. Allies braced themselves for his next move, while rivals prepared for battle. For the fans, Tucker's return was electrifying. His knack for inserting himself into the most dramatic storylines made him a character who could single-handedly elevate the stakes. What did Tucker have up his sleeve this time? And who would be caught in the crossfire? Phyllis and Tucker, a collision course? Tucker's reappearance couldn't have come at a worse time for Phyllis. His history of manipulation and calculated risk-taking clashed with her own direct, no-nonsense approach. When Tucker hinted at having information about Heather's death, Phyllis found herself reluctantly drawn into his orbit. "You've always been good at finding trouble, Tucker," Phyllis remarked during a tense encounter at Society. "But if you know something about Heather, you'd better come clean." Tucker smirked. "Patience, Phyllis. The truth always comes out eventually. The question is, are you ready for it?" Billy and Phyllis, a united front despite the challenges. Billy and Phyllis began to find their rhythm. Their mutual respect and shared determination created a bond that neither of them had anticipated. While Phyllis continued to untangle the mystery surrounding Heather, she also became a sounding board for Billy's ideas. "You've got something here," she told him one night, reviewing a proposal he'd drafted. "It's bold, innovative, and exactly what this town needs." Her encouragement reignited Billy's confidence. Together, they started laying the groundwork for a new venture. One that could rival even the most established businesses in Genoa City. The stage is set as the pieces moved into place. The tension in Genoa City reached a boiling point. Tucker's machinations threatened to upend alliances, while Phyllis's quest for answers put her in the crosshairs of those who wanted the truth buried. Billy, fueled by a renewed sense of purpose, prepared to stake his claim in a town that had written him off too many times. The question remained, could Billy and Phyllis navigate their personal challenges and professional ambitions without being derailed by the chaos around them? And how would Tucker's return reshape the landscape of Genoa City, bringing new twists to the ever-evolving drama? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain: the stakes had never been higher.